this week's episode of Jing TV.
One of the things we're going to talk about, a question that we get asked all the time. How much should I charge?
How much should I charge? Indeed, Meghan, you're very hot on this. How much should you charge?
Oh,
as a massage therapist?
You should charge a lot. You should charge what you're worth, which is the most important thing, I think. I think a lot of therapists that we see don't charge what they're worth. They kind of think about what people can afford, or people at the first sign in which they say how much they're charging and somebody sort of cringes, ooh, that's a lot of money, they kind of back off. And the biggest thing that I've always said to people is it's really hard to up your prices.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
you know, it's much better to shoot higher and then bring them down. But, you know, your point about actually how much money do you want to make is the most important place to start.
So, you know, really, I think you need to start off from, you know, how much massage do I want to do? So do I want to be a full-time massage therapist? If you want to make a living out of massage, then the maximum number of massages you can do per week is 20, pretty much.
I think
we recommend,
so. Yeah, 15 to 20. And if you're doing 5 days of 5 massages a day, that's an incredibly good...
That's 25.
Shit, that's too many. That's too many massages.
You know, Meg used to be a mathlete. That's part of your... So 25 absolute tops. So
4 days a week, much better.
Yeah. So what you need to work out is how much money do I want to earn a year?
Yeah.
What do I want my salary to be? And obviously into that equation you need to work out how many weeks off you want a year, and also how much your costs are. So if you're paying out for a clinic room, you know, your training is really important.
I mean, training budget, of course, we believe in a lot of training, so your training budget's important. Also, when people work from home, they seem to kind of think, oh, well, I'm working from home, so I can charge less. But actually, you have all the same expenses, and your clients, patients should be charging for your expertise, not necessarily the environment in which they're in. So that, I think you don't need to kind of adjust your prices according to where you are. You are who you are, and you should charge accordingly.
Yeah. So if you think you're working 20 hours a week on the massage, you need those other 15, 20 hours
at
for
least.
Admin, marketing, phoning your clients, writing your notes, going on your training, all that kind of thing.
And when you don't have clients, you should be working on getting clients, which is, you know, perhaps a different scope at another Jing TV episode. But I've seen that happen too much when somebody rents a room and then they don't have clients, but then they kind of just get frustrated and they don't do anything. And actually that's incredibly focused time to be able to think about how to prospect and how to find new clients. But we'll talk about it at a different time.
So I think probably the best way to figure out how much to charge is, one, work out how much you need to charge at 20 clients a week in order to get the salary per year that you want, taking into account your weeks off. And also, if you look around your hometown, find another massage therapist who's making a living out of their profession.
Yeah, a full-time massage therapist.
Yeah.
And that's a really big difference than somebody who's doing 2 or 3 massages a night, or a couple nights a week at, you know, their home around another job. And you're right. I mean, I think that's really important, because the people who are doing it full-time and have been doing it for years will have a very different take on it than those people who are just thinking it's like a bit of adjunct money or cash. And the other thing is, one of our BTech students has just done a huge marketing project as part of the research for the Jing Institute. And one of the questions she asked about massage therapists and their choosing to marketing was, not only are you a massage therapist full time, but are you responsible for being the primary income into the home? And that I think is really interesting. So if you can find a mentor, because massage therapists can compete, but if you can find somebody who's the major income or their income is as equal to their partner or their single family income, you're talking to somebody who really knows the value of what they're doing and how much they have to charge.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the short answer to the question in the UK is, I think if you want to earn about, you know, 35 grand a year sterling, then you need to be charging at least minimum 50 quid a treatment if you want to take 6 weeks off a year, which is, you know, a good amount of time off. So that's kind of a ballpark figure. You know, in New York, then you're probably looking at least $100, right?
Well, 100 to 150, I think. And, you know, the second thing that we'll say about how to charge is look at other professionals. So yes, look within the massage field and see what people are charging. But then also look at
chiropractors, osteopaths,
exactly, acupuncturists, and think about where you're positioned on your education, which may not be as intensive as somebody who's gone to, you know, a physio training. However, the thing that you've got on your side, which other professionals don't have, is time. So I don't know another bodywork profession that consistently spends as much time per patient.
Right.
So a lot of other bodywork professions do 20 minutes, 30-minute appointments, which means they can see more volume. And what massage therapists do is not only give their expertise, but they just give their care and their development, and that's worth something. Although you're not a therapist, but you are doing something about empowering people through pain, and your time is worth charging for.
Yeah, we do feel really strongly about this, and I think our what we see is massage therapists don't charge enough, particularly in the UK, and part of that is because, you know, sometimes they haven't had the training behind them to really be able to offer something, you know, that gets results with clients.
And what happens is, if you don't charge enough, then you end up not being the professional that you want to be. So if you're not making the money, we see too many people who say, well, I can't continue doing this, right? Because I can't make enough money to charge, you know, to do the training I want to and to have the life I want. And one of the things which we didn't realize when we started out was so unique, is actually in our last 20 years, the only thing that Rachel and I have ever done to bring in money is be massage therapists. That's not to say that we're not qualified in other areas. I particularly have a little penchant for education. I've done quite a few degrees in other disciplines, including a master's degree in law, that never really made me a penny. What really made me money was being a massage therapist, and I also enjoy the flexibility of that.
Yeah, and I think we always say, if you don't have the confidence to put your prices up for yourself, do it for the rest of the profession.
Yeah, do it for me.
Because if you're only charging $25, then the massage therapist down the road who's really trying to make a living out of this, who's charging $100 because that's what we should be charging, you're going to bring the prices down for everyone. So be proud of yourself and be proud of the profession. It's, I think, you know, think
really
about.
Important. And that being said, don't get persuaded by people who are charging less than you in your area. So if somebody's doing that, that's their problem, not yours, and you have to charge what you're worth and what you want to make. And that's not to say it doesn't happen to us. So people will call us up and ask us how much we charge and say, well, actually, you know, so-and-so down the road is charging 30, 35 pounds a treatment. Why? Or I'm going to go to them. And we say, that's fine, you do that, because, you know, it's not, that's how we want to work as professions.
Yeah. And I think the other thing we get asked a lot with regard to charging is, what about, you know, people who really can't afford it, sliding scales, that kind of thing. And we're both very into the idea of getting massage out into the community, but I think what we feel is much better to charge appropriately for everybody, and then if you're earning a decent living, then go and do half a day a week, you know, voluntary work at community centre, something like that, or maximum have one or two people on your caseload that really genuinely can't afford it and you're charging a reduced rate, because you will get resentful. You know, I promise you, if you're doing ongoing treatment at a much reduced rate, you're not going to be able to make a living, do the training that you want, and you get resentful. So, you know, we recognise massage therapists have compassionate hearts and
want to give it away.
We want to give it away.
Want to make it accessible.
We're all for that, but if you charge appropriately for everybody else, then you can actually do, you know, pure voluntary work, which we definitely recommend.
Volunteer at a community centre, volunteer with a particular group of individuals who are suffering from a particular condition that you're interested in learning about. So one of the things I did when I first became a massage therapist, because I was out in San Francisco in the 90s, is I worked a volunteer quite a lot with people living with HIV. And it was an incredible experience. It completely changed my practice, but that was very different than my professional practice in some ways anyway, financially.
Yeah.
The other bit about this is about the details. So that's all well and good, but how do I specifically charge? So loads of massage therapists that we encounter have trained in loads of different modalities. So you could get somebody who's done a massage course or a massage qualification or a massage degree even, and then they go out and do other things. So they become a specialist in aromatherapy or a specialist in pregnancy massage or do reflexology. And then they come up with these like big kind of menus of services and kind of chop and change the price for different things.
Oh my God, could it be any noisier?